So in the MVP lounge, which now we've talked about talk, here's a talk show within the talking. But they've got the ring set up for the MVP lounge, but Brock comes out first. Cowboy, hillbilly Brock, Klondike Brock.
Babyface Brock.
Babyface, big time babyface. And you can tell
it's crazy seeing him like this.
He enjoys being a complete smart and having people cheer him for it because he hates those people too. And he's thinking, this is great. I'm with everybody. He just doesn't like people. It's not that he doesn't like the wrestling fans. I mean, people that know him describe him as miserable. But anyway, he comes out and like I said, when he came back, he was like Cowboy Brock, and then he went to, Klondike Brock. I think now he's almost one of the scuffling hillbillies. He's got fucking moonshine in his pocket. But he enters MVP's set and sits down in the chair and then waits on MVP, who has challenged Brock to face Almost at WrestleMania. And we'll talk about what prompted this match here after we talk about this interview. But so Brock, MVP's coming out. He don't want to get in the ring with Brock. He thinks Brock's going to beat him up. But Brock, no, you're fine. It's all about business. I got no beef with you. And it dragged a little bit, but finally Brock coaxes MVP into the ring and says, sell me this match. Hype man, big, manager has sell me why that I should fight Almost. And MVP came in the ring on the promise of no suplexes. So I think one of the things is in years past, promos had more energy because time was a premium. You were on an hour program, or even on a 2-hour program, nobody was allowed to just talk for 10, 15 minutes. Lawler in Memphis, because it was open-ended and open formatted, but he could do it and get away with it.
All these talk shows, every Piper's Pit was 2 minutes.
Yes. I mean, people look back on the live interviews with the Horsemen, the live interviews that Hurd used to want to cut because they were too long away from action on the TBS program. We would put down for 5 minutes with all of the Horsemen or whatever. The Horsemen promos from TBS and Crockett syndicated TV that people remember usually were more like 3 minutes, and they might get in a fight and go into the ring or whatever. But no, I've talked about those open-ended promos on the 2-hour show in Dallas for World Class. It was boring as shit a lot of the time. And those things still didn't go 10 minutes with multiple talents in them. But nevertheless, now they've got 3 hours, and the writers want to write material for the guys that to start out that has really no bearing on the money drawn aspect of it. They're doing their little mini plays and their interaction first. So you got talk. Anyway, I think the longest live interview I ever had on Smoky Mountain Wrestling that I booked myself on was like 6 minutes and something. And people have put it, I think it may be the one that I had the nosebleed on when I was selling 4 different matches in 4 different cities over Thanksgiving weekend. Anyway, MVP starts giving him the big sales pitch and about why they should fight, and starts getting more confident as he's getting into it. And I enjoyed this part where he's telling Brock to his face how the Nigerian giant can beat him. And finally, when he gets finished, he's got that, he's all puffed up now, and Brock loved it, and he accepted the challenge, and he high-fived him. And he said, let's celebrate with a handshake and a drink. And MVP goes to pop the champagne, and Brock says no, and he pulls the flask of moonshine out of his not jacket, but ripped up blue jean vest farm outfit inside pocket. And he takes a big swig and gives it to MVP, who warily takes a big swig of it. And as it settles in on him, he did a great job of spit. He spit all over fucking Brock's face. Just, bah! He's puke. And
who pitched that to him? And then you're going to spit this in Brock's face.
Yeah. Probably Brock. Be honest with you. Probably Brock. And then Brock fucking turns fucking green and picks him up and F5s him. But so it was a good job.
Not a suplex.
Not a suplex. So he is a man of his word, not a suplex. So it was a good segment. Took a little while to get there. Almost didn't appear. That was a good thing because the way MVP described it, you might want to see the match. But problem is we've seen almost. And I don't think they can Zulu him again into, stealing this thing. But the alternative, from what we now understand, Brian, from sources within the industry, is that a good way to term it? Sources within the industry?
Paul Levesque, yes.
Well, when Bray Wyatt came out a couple of weeks ago and did the deal where he somehow challenged, in whatever screwy way that was that week, the winner of Brock Lesnar or Bobby Lashley, so whoever wins, if the lights go out, run. Well, now we understand.
That's why Lesnar hit him in the balls.
Yeah. Now we understand where that fucking finish came out of nowhere. Because Brock said, fuck you, my lights ain't going out because I pay my bill and I'm running as far away from a match with you as possible. And ixnayed, as they say, the idea of him working with Bray Wyatt. So it fell to Bobby Lashley, who is not as independent and more of a team player, who is now apparently going to have to go down that road. Brock said, fuck you, I ain't doing that shit.
We talk about it. There's no way to work with Bray Wyatt and not get killed. There's no way to come out of that and look better on the other side. And Brock Lesnar, whatever you want to say about him, he's been pretty smart in how he's handled his career. He saw that and said, you know what? That sounds awful. I'd rather wrestle almost. And that's the match he's going to have instead. Amazing.
And some people were saying that Brock was going around shaking people's hands just in case he didn't see him in the future for a while.
Sorry you have to work with Bray. I'll see you next time.
Yeah.
I ain't doing this shit.
So, we'll get to poor Bobby in a minute.